So good morning. My name is Scott Forcino. I'm an associate broker with eXp Realty. I founded Plug Intro for the sole purpose of allowing those in the real estate field to make more and better referral partners. And with us, Jason Ramirez today. He had a great post on something really important. Jason, good morning, and maybe identify yourself and tell me what you thought when you posted that information.
Good morning, Scott. Thanks for the invite again. So mortgage applications, obviously 20 and 21 have been record years. I mean, that's if you didn't have a record year in this business in those 2 years, then obviously, that's a different conversation altogether. But they did take a 20. They're at 22-year lows now, which are very high. It's to be expected, and that's just the collective. Excuse me, sorry.
No problem.
And that's just the collective, jump in or drop in mortgages. The purchase applications have taken a hit, but refi applications have dipped 75% year over year. And they do make up a good percentage of all mortgage originations. Usually, it's usually at about a 3 or even 4 to 1 ratio, refi to purchase. So when you see refi applications taking a dip that aggressively, then mortgage applications are getting hammered, which is what happened with this new data that's been released.
Yeah, I know that happened in the title business because they go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, purchase applications are down 21%. So 21%. I mean, and you may think that's, comparing to refis, that's not as bad, but it is quite a hit. So it is going to definitely, people are going to feel it, especially in mortgages and even real estate agents themselves. They're definitely going to feel this drop in volume.
Well, there's been such a drop in showings because we use the electronic lock boxes. Mm-hmm. And I tell you what, there's no lying when it comes to a lockbox. They're getting many, many fewer requests or registrations.
Right. Yeah.
So that's, you see that. But, it also is to be expected because buyers are finite. It's not the air or the sky or, the ocean. It's going to be people bought, they're out of the market. It happened.
Well, yeah, that's definitely the reason. Like we discussed on our last conversation, if you didn't, if you didn't sell your house, that doesn't mean you're gonna fire sale it. You're just gonna pull it off the market. That's what that's gonna do is, in essence, just ease inventory. There's not gonna be any inventory, so that's obviously gonna keep prices high. So there won't be a collapse. That I keep hearing. Again, it drives me crazy. I hear 2008, 2009 comparisons, and it's not even close.
No, it's not going to be close. Those people didn't qualify for mortgage. Now everyone must. But that's not the point. I think that we're in for a really sharp reduction really soon by July 4th, because you need to be in a contract soon to get into school by September. So after July 4th, there's basically almost, even in states like Florida where it goes quick, forget about New York, you're not getting in a contract, if you agree with me, after July 4th and getting in for Labor Day.
Yeah, if you have a family, young family, and they go to school, you probably, it's specific to certain situations, you're probably not going to move your kids to a different school district, midway into school. So, like, to your point, if you didn't do this already, you're probably not going to do it, and you're going to wait for the next spring market to make the move.
Yeah.
That being said, if you're, obviously, if you're single and you don't have children and it doesn't matter, then it doesn't matter, so you'll continue to be in that market. But you got to imagine a good, 50% of the buyers out there are, people with families, and they're not looking to move them.
Yeah, you're right.
They have certain target dates in which they have to get this done. And if they didn't get it done, then they're just going to wait until, that target date hits again, which is probably the next spring market.
Mm-hmm. But you're using traditional metrics, but I think people have a fear because no one has any idea what the next market or the next push will be given the circumstances.
Yeah, look, I mean, when you're buying a house, price points are obviously very important, but if you're buying it, if it's out of your price range, then obviously you're not going to buy that home, but there's going to be homes in your price range. Buying a house that's the number one priority. Buying a house, getting it cheap is just or not overpaying is just a byproduct of luck, So I think where your price points are could be a matter of luck or bad luck, but I don't believe that's going to keep you from buying a home, because if you're buying a home, you're buying it to live in it, to create a family, to expand on a family, to up, so getting it at an inexpensive price is just a byproduct of just luck. And even same thing with interest rates. If whether interest rates are 3%, 4%, that's not going to keep you from buying a home. You're not just going to all of a sudden, forget it, I'm buying a house. I'm not buying a house because the rate is 150 basis points higher. That's not going to be the case. That's not why you're buying a home. You're buying a home because of other reasons. Getting a cheap rate, very much like getting a cheaper price on a home, is just the product of timing, luck, but that's not going to prevent you. That being said, it could affect your price points, but that's another conversation.
It could. There's also been conversation where these interest rates have actually hurt the economy, because when you're paying $600 more a month, you need a place to live, but you don't need those restaurant meals, and you don't need to play on Amazon, and you don't need to get those hotel rooms. So there's all this, they call it a silent recession, because you're not doing fun stuff. You'll throw some burgers on the grill and not go for sushi. That's what people have been experiencing. You got to get the house, you got to sleep somewhere, so that's what's happening.
Yeah, look, that's a product of inflation. Also, things are just a lot more expensive. So you're starting to see people curtail that as well. But, the consumer's super strong right now. I mean, people are just itching to spend money. You can tell that by the travel industry. The travel industry is on fire, despite the fact that you have, these
well, that's because post-COVID, people are just got to go out.
People are just itching to go out and spend money. I mean, the savings rates are, I believe the last number I heard was $2.4 trillion. That's what America has in savings. So they're just itching to spend. Would they like to spend cheaper? Yeah, but because stuff is a little bit more money, that's not going to prevent them from doing anything.
Yeah,
up to and including buying a house. So that's just the way it is. Until the consumer really feels that pinch, or until you start seeing until you start seeing pain on the consumer side, where you start seeing slowdowns and people just completely pulling out of the market, to buy a home for whatever, stuff. If you want to broaden it, until you see that happen, it's just going to be strong.
Well, what's your, you raise a good point. When people are spending more in gas and groceries, that could easily total $1,000 a month, easily. $250 a week between, once or twice getting gas and getting, you turn $1,000 a month, and you as a banker have to appreciate the toll that $1,000 a month has on your monthly or your LTV, your debt to income, right?
Yeah. But people are spending it. A lot of the reason is people have made more money now than they've ever made. Like everybody's, the wage growth is growing year over year. That's clear. There is a labor shortage where, employers are just paying money. They're just, they want talented people. So money is not the big issue right now. The perception is, things are a lot more money than they have been. Fuel prices, homes, groceries, everything is a lot more money, but people are still spending. They're still spending, and that proof is out there. If you just look around you, that nothing is not. You don't see slowdowns anywhere.
Well, do you think that you may be in a bubble because you live in a part of Long Island? You live in Nassau?
I live in Nassau, yes.
Well, Nassau is probably the greatest buying power in America. That's been said, that that between the sound and the ocean, you're talking about a square of the wealthiest and the you may not be speaking about USA when you're talking from Nassau County.
Well, if Nassau is overly expensive, so if you're going to hear the complaints and the pinches, you're going to hear it in this county. You're going to hear it in the 5 boroughs, because it's just ridiculous to live. You're starting to hear it in Florida. I remember Florida being the big, hey, I could buy 8,000 square feet for $200,000.
Oh yeah, and
that's not the case anymore.
That wasn't that long ago.
Is over. but people collectively across the country are making more money than they've ever had. You know, and the price of homes on average nationwide, I believe, touched 360,000, and that's a nationwide average. And incomes are growing still. So I can't say I live in a bubble per se, but like if there's going to be any pressure, you're going to feel it here because it's expensive to live on Long Island. It is. The average home, the average family, like if you make $100,000 a year across the country, that's a lot of money, you know, in most of the country. But at Long Island, you know, you might not be able to live out here. 100,000,
No way.
50,000. You certainly can't own a home and raise a family. You know, with paid taxes. You know, you're living check to check. So I would imagine you would feel it. You would feel the strain here more than most other places. Here in 5 boroughs, Westchester County, it's just expensive to live in this area.